Hello everyone, Cotswolds Girl here. Hope you're well. Welcome to my video for the week. I know it's been a little while since I've done a large video, and I think I might have got a copyright strike on my last one, showing you my wicked dance moves. That was just my clubber size stuff, but anyway, don't know. Might be a thing, might not, but I'm new to this, so I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? Oh well. Today I am, as promised, going to do a book review. Now, this is something that I never thought that I'd sort of be doing on this channel, or I'd be, focusing in on other things. But I have to bring this to you because, again, my husband, Cotswold's boy, he is a bibliophile. Like we have that many books in our house that he buys and he reads and he does all this sort of, so it's one of our outlets, which is really, really great because it's great for your mental health and it just takes you away from work. And, when like I'm trying to run two businesses, and at the end of the day, there's nothing worse than just being stuck in your head. So we escape into the world of literature. So I never thought I'd be doing a book review, but I have to bring you these because, again, I'm the sort of person that once I'm onto a genre that I really like, I will promote it. But I'm also one that, and again, I don't know whether this is just because I'm a little bit on the spectrum or whatever, but once I'm into a series, I have to read all of the series. I can't just pick book one and then go off and read something else and then go back to book two or whatever. I'll read them end on end, just because that's who I am. Did it with the Shadowhunters, did it with the Ramses series. Now I'm doing it with this. So anyway, I've been seeing these books in Waterstones over the past couple of months, and they just got me thinking, and I'm like, I looked in the cover and I'm thinking, right, okay, murder mystery, Japanese writer. Let's see what this is about. Anyway, so I've just finished reading both of them and I'm about to start the third one. So a little bit of context. So the first one that I actually read was this one, which is Strange Pictures. And the synopsis that they say, it's like an Agatha Christie kind of murder mystery, and it is, but it's a little bit more complex than that. It's almost like a mashup of Agatha Christie and Dan Brown, almost, because there's sort of three stories that he tells. He sort of starts with a story that just sort of seems a little bit inane, and you've got two mates who are at university who are part, have a thing for crime. They're in this sort of this crime club, the mysteries or whatever it is, and they stumble upon this thing and they think, oh, this is interesting, I wonder what it is. And so, like anything, they jump down a rabbit hole and start investigating, right? Then the next story comes online, and it's about a husband and a wife and their story and how that all eventuates. And then without sort of giving too much away, there's obviously a bit of a twist in their fate, and there's left behind some things that don't quite make sense until you sort of get to the end, and you're thinking, well, I wonder what this means. And your inquisitive brain tries to sort of put it all together, having read chapter number one, to see how that sort of fits in. And then another story comes in at the end, and it's a it seems like a completely different story. And then it's right at the end that they all mesh and you realize what's going on, and you can trace it right back to what the university guys were sort of saying. And it all comes together, which is really great. There's actually a lot of pictures in the book. So it's something that I wasn't sort of used to. Like, for example, here, it shows you various different things. And again, I'll flip to one of the things that they show. It's a series of drawings. And so it's not necessarily a hard read, but it's one that you need to keep your wits about you to sort of try and piece things together. And then when it all sort of comes together, all the different stories merge at the end. You got to, as if you're good with names, the names carry through. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. And again, you'd like it if you like Dan Brown. You know how, for example, Da Vinci Code, one chapter will be on one particular story, and then the next chapter will be on something different that doesn't necessarily seem related. It's sort of jumps like that. But it's really, really good. Honestly, if you're a reader, you'd be able to read this, I would say, probably over the course of a weekend. It's not, it's once you sort of get into it, it's an easy read and you can follow it. The narrative's quite easy. So definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. As I said, I'm not a speed reader. I'm not even a particularly good reader, but I enjoyed it. So that was that. Now, the second one, I finished this last night at around about midnight. I only started it probably 2 or 3 days ago. And again, I'm not one to sort of sit in long spells and read books. And it's good like that because you can sort of put it down and pick it up. Again, very similar, where you've got someone from the outside, or a couple of people from the outside are, see something in a newspaper and think, oh, okay, well, that's a bit strange. And they just, start making their own inquiries. And then as it turns out, it's, there's this whole story that evolves behind it. For Stranger Houses, it's different to Strange Pictures because it doesn't jump from story to story. It's one complete sort of story in a nutshell. And what I'd probably say is, again, it's sort of a little bit unexpected, but you can probably once you've probably read through and sort of worked out the first few characters, you can start to put things together in your mind. It does they do draw conclusions in a lot of it that you think, oh, well, I'm not sure that my brain would go there, but it is what it is. But yeah, again, a very good read. Again, it's, it gives you, it gives you pictures. So it gives you house layouts, which helps sort of with the story. So again, have a look at that. You can sort of see the house layouts and stuff. So yeah, so that's that one as well. Again, you don't necessarily have to be a reader to get it. And even though it's translated from Japanese, it reads really, really well in English. So you don't really miss anything there. Again, Strange Houses is slightly different because it almost reads almost like a play in some regards. It's like two people having a conversation, and if you've ever read plays, it says, character one, and has a sentence about what they say, character two, sentence about what they say. So that's the sort of way that it is. It doesn't read necessarily like a novel, but it's still really, really good. So yeah, so look, I'd highly recommend it. Go and check them out. So I've got the last one is Strange Buildings, and so I'm literally going to start that tonight. I will do a review on that probably on the weekend, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so all good. And I will be back to you with another video on my regular stuff, probably over the next sort of week or so. Just struggling to sort of try and find a bit of time. We're also going into London for the Ramses exhibition. Again, we're massive history geeks, and so we love that stuff. So I'll probably send some photos from there. But have a really, really good week. Check out the books. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them from Waterstones, anywhere. Highly recommended, and I will see you in the next one.